sometimes things happen in our lives that impress us to the core of our hearts. Bright as light, they strike our eyes, they amaze us, and we never forget them. What's strange is that these events or moments add up to murals on the walls of our lives. Remember the woods on the outskirts of town and the day you walked there, holding someone's hand? Do you remember the night when, sitting by the fire, you talked about something very important, though of course, you don't remember what? Do you remember the eyes of the girl sitting across from you on the bus? When was that? You must have dreamed it. And do you remember the darkness of the closet across from your bed? There was a monster living there. No, really, there was. I remember the first time I went there. The front gate was full of wilted leaves that rustled softly if you walked on them. The windows were still without curtains, as if giving away a secret. The house hadn't been lived in for a long time. The village street quiet, lit a little by the rays of sunlight that broke through the fog, which rises so late in the fall almost didn't breathe. My gaze fell on the attic window. Someone was standing there, behind the glass, peering into the yard. A shiver ran down my shoulders, and I frowned as I entered the house. He welcomed me with open arms, like the one he'd been waiting for. And it didn't feel like those hugs were meant to suffocate me. In the evening, to avoid spending the night in an empty house, we drove home. Sitting in the car, I stared intently out the window and raised my hand in a gesture of greeting. The silhouette hesitantly repeated my motion. When we decided to stay at the house for the weekend a week later, I was very happy. The cleaned rooms and windows, already covered from strangers' eyes. By the way, the village was not very crowded, seemed as familiar to me as in the city. I gladly helped to cook dinner, set the table, and ran errands around the house. Only when I was asked to run up to the attic for some water bucket did I think back to last week. I turned the key in the lock. It jams a little, but it still yields. Scratching the floor, the doors swing open, but I don't feel the cold of the empty room. It's dusty, quiet, smells like candy and old age. Laughing, I shout to someone that I'm about to come down. The ceiling is low, but I'm a child, so it's okay. The rays of the setting sun fall on the wall, on the floor, on the old bed in the corner. There's someone there. Sitting in the corner of the bed with his arms around his knees. Sitting, turning away from the light and covering her face with her blonde hair. The once white lace dress that the slim figure is clothed in has yellowed over the years. She is breathing slightly, and you can see it in her faint movements. I freeze, then walk to the wall, grab a bucket and, without taking my eyes off her, walk out without dropping a single word, despite the fact that I am catching my breath. I've been coming to this house for years, but I've never told anyone. True, one day I went up to the attic with my sister. She looked at the bed completely calmly, without flinching. Her gaze went through the girl sitting on the bed. But whenever I go in, she's there, she's breathing. I'm going to hang curtains over the window, maybe then she'll shake her hair off and show her face.